So what's going on, guys? It's Jeremy, it's speakboxing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel before you click on 20 of the videos. Also comment below in the comment section if you guys have any opinions in what I'm saying in any of the videos. Like always, it is appreciated if you guys could drop me a quick sub or two on my channel. So the fight has finally been ruled between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. A lot of people speculated that this fight might not ever happen after Luis Ortiz failed a drug test in the build up to the last fight, and we all know the situation with that. Deontay Wilder had to go and face Stavern and obviously destroyed Stavern in one round in a very farcical kind of fight, because Stavern looked like a fucking duck out of water in that fight, like Jesus Christ. But yeah, the fight has been rescheduled for March the 3rd at the Barclays Center in New York. Deontay Wilder will be facing his toughest opponent to date, Luis Ortiz. And Luis Ortiz, you know what I mean, he needed this fight. It's now or never. A lot of people feel like he shouldn't get this shot because of the failed drug test. He's 38 years old on paper. In my mind, this guy looks about 54 years old, and he probably is that, because these Cuban fighters always lie about their age, and until I see a birth certificate, I'm not believing Luis Ortiz is 38 years old. But he's still a very dangerous opponent, and he's got power, dangerous power. He's a very good boxer. Luis Ortiz obviously is a schooled Cuban amateur fighter for many years, and obviously this will be his toughest test to date, fighting Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? And I'm picking Deontay Wilder in this fight. Like, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're crazy, why are you picking Wilder? He's fought no one, he's an accident waiting to happen. But Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, I don't know, he's just been the fighter who's been more active. He's the younger guy, he's the bigger guy, he's got longer arms. And I think if Deontay Wilder keeps it on the outside and uses movement and stuff like that to frustrate Luis Ortiz, and then maybe try and detonate that big right hand, then I expect Deontay Wilder to win this fight, and I'll be favouring him to win the fight. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if Luis Ortiz managed to pull it off against Deontay Wilder and pick up the WBC heavyweight title. A lot of people are wishing for Luis Ortiz to do that, but you know what I mean, Deontay Wilder gets a lot of hate. But at the end of the day, the guy is a world champion for a reason. Like, the way this guy moves in the ring, he's very awkward. He detonates that big right hand to perfection sometimes. Like, that right hand, like, people call him a one-trick pony. And like Paulie Malignaggi said, it's one hell of a trick. Because when he detonates that right hand, you're in trouble. And I think if he lands on Luis Ortiz, it'll be interesting to see. Because we've never seen Luis Ortiz really hurt in a fight. We've seen him caught a few times. We saw him get caught against Brian Jennings a few times. He's been caught by a few lesser opponents, but we've never seen him really hurt Luis Ortiz. And Deontay Wilder's power is very real, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles getting hit by that big right hand if Deontay Wilder manages to detonate it. And I do see him eventually detonating that right hand, and if Luis Ortiz can get through it, then the fight could be interesting. But in my opinion, not many heavyweights are gonna be able to withstand that big right hand. And Luis Ortiz, you know what I mean, if he lands on Deontay Wilder, same story really. He can take Deontay Wilder out, because Deontay Wilder, he has been wobbled a few times in fights, but he's managed to overcome it. But Luis Ortiz is a very experienced fighter. Might not be experienced like Deontay Wilder in the pro game, but this guy, like I said, is a very schooled amateur fighter, and I expect the fight to be very interesting. I expect it to be competitive, and it's just a case of whoever lands first and whoever takes the bull by its horns and lands the big shots needed to try and take their guy out. But it won't be shocking to me if Deontay Wilder managed to win this fight on points or something like that, and stay away from Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz is a dangerous fighter, in my opinion, for about 5 or 6 rounds, but then he slows down, obviously because of his age and stuff like that, and he's not the fastest guy anyway. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, this fight. I look forward to it. Hopefully nobody pisses hot for this fight again. You know what I mean? I want this fight to happen. I finally want to see this fight, because I think it's a very interesting matchup. I was disappointed, like a lot of people were, when the fight fell through last time, but I'm glad that the fight's going to be back on and we finally get to see it. So